does leadership mean to me? The meaning of leadership has definitely evolved since becoming a parent, that now I appreciate more than ever that whether I'm at home, I'm at work or in the classroom, leadership is about living my values and staying really purposeful. Ultimately, every great leader leaves others better as a result of their presence, and even greater leadership will continue to serve others in their absence, and I really believe that.
I think it all starts with self and an awareness, putting energy and practice into being aware of how I'm thinking, because I've come to know with plenty of years of life on the planet that it's your thoughts that lead to actions. And so it's at the thinking stage, being aware of what you're thinking, and then really having heightened kind of appreciation of the control that you have as an individual as to how you're going to respond to a situation. And secondarily to that is making a commitment to have all of your thoughts and take all of your actions and all of your communications, do it with love, because it's an opportunity to give. And even if you're delivering a message that's tricky or a bit painful for somebody to receive, it's about doing it with love so that they can get something good from that interaction, and you will as well, because there is too much anxiety in our world. There is too much jimmying for position and wanting to be the best and wanting to be right all the time, whereas if we come at it in terms of how we carry ourselves and how we interact with each other, our environment, animals, nature, in business, with love, so that all of those things and people we're interacting with benefit, then it's got to be a better place.
If I have to think about the skills that I would look for in a leader, would be someone who is not scared to take a stance and stick to it. And if it doesn't work, or if they change their mind, they need to be able to admit that it didn't work. Potentially it was a mistake if it was, or it just wasn't right. It wasn't the right decision to make at the time. So leadership is about being true to yourself and not being afraid to take one step forward, even though it may end up being the wrong step. But it's about avoiding the status quo and moving forward.
Leadership to me is making the hard choices, doing the right thing no matter how hard it is, and always putting the people that you're caring for first.
Leadership to me is getting to know the people that you're leading, to understand what makes them tick, how to motivate them, communicate to them, and just help them to discover their best selves.
Leadership to me means setting a really good example that covers many facets, so ethically, emotionally, good practice. So not only is it all about leadership, but it's also the qualities and the morals that you display within your actions.
Leadership to me means being able to create a cohesive, safe and collaborative environment, as I believe great leaders have a way of empowering and inspiring individuals and pushing them to do better than what they ever thought they could achieve.
So to me, good leadership is about knowing that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. I think that really good leaders take the time to get to know the people that they're working with and understand what makes them tick, so that they can kind of give them the space and the trust that they need to do well in whatever they're doing.
My favourite international woman and female leader is my dear mother Eleni Papatanasiou, arriving in Australia on her own at 17 with only primary school education from her homeland in Greece. My sister and I were raised by the hardest working woman we know. She married my dad Costa via arranged marriage, and a few years after her arrival she built a life and a home twice. After returning to Greece and convincing my father there she could not see a future like the future she saw for her girls in Australia, and came back. Resilient, fiercely passionate, driven by faith, values and love, she always had the best advice. You know what to do and everything will be okay. She really is. She's the most powerful powerhouse of a female international woman that I know, and I thought it was fitting to acknowledge her in this little segment.
Right now, my absolute favourite leader is Jacinda Ardern. I think that the New Zealand Prime Minister is leaving all other leaders in her wake in terms of her decisiveness, her focus, carrying out her actions, and I would say her thoughts, therefore, with love and care for people. I feel like she is showing us how it can be done.
Well, I don't actually have any female leader that I favour over another one, but I do like and really admire the Australian bush nurses. Amazing stories of what these women have done in the harshest of the harshest conditions, just getting in, doing the work, finding solutions without even being able to conceive that problems existed before they arose.
My favourite leader is Jacinda Ardern. She looks out for her people. She puts them first and their health, their interests first. She doesn't bend to big business or the economy or any of the typical things that we seem to always be putting before people these days. So yeah, I think I'm pretty impressed with the decisions she's made and the tough choices she's made, making sure that her people are number one.
My favourite female leader has a long time been Oprah Winfrey. She's transcended so many difficult times. She does amazing charity work and she shows true compassion. She just inspires me to be better.
I have been following Whitney Wolfe Herd for a while now, as I've always been inspired by her story and all the trials and tribulations she's had to overcome in her career, particularly being a woman in business. And I think now is the best time to celebrate and acknowledge her success, as she has become the world's youngest female CEO to take a company public.
I'm not sure, but maybe Greta Thunberg. I think she's a great leader for her generation and for the climate activist movement, and she's done so well to have made such a massive impact for someone her age.
I would tell my younger self about being a great leader to just do the right thing. When you are faced with decisions, and hopefully you're being aware enough and mindful enough to be realising that you're actually making a decision and you have a choice with how you respond and how you react and the actions you take, to do the right thing. Just come back and do the right thing. That will always stand you in the absolute best stead, and it also, everybody else in your circle and anything else that is affected will do better if you do the right thing in the long run. It will pay off.
I guess when I was younger, I often thought that because I was younger and I looked younger, even though I had an expertise in an area, people may not be willing to follow my advice or understand that what I was proposing was well researched because I was younger. So what I'd like to tell myself is forget about the age. Yes, it might have something to do with wisdom because the older you get, the more experience you have, but don't be intimidated by people who think you may not have the knowledge or the skills because you are younger.
I would tell my younger self to keep working hard, keep trying hard, keep always doing the right thing, because in the end it pays off.
Something that I would tell my younger self about being a great leader is that the opportunities to be one are not limited to the workplace.
Something I would tell my younger self about being a great leader would be to just stay true to yourself and to also recognise what your qualities are and to appreciate other people for their qualities, but also know that you can't tick every box, and to just hone in on what you find valuable for yourself and what rewards you.
Something that I would tell my younger self about being a great leader is to surround yourself with people who have the mindset, beliefs, aspirations, and work ethic that you aspire to achieve.
I guess I would say that being a leader doesn't mean that you need to be loud and commanding. I think in my first serious-ish job, I had a boss who was both of those things. And to me, that was quite intimidating because that is just not me at all. And I thought that that meant that I would never be able to be in a job like hers. And then as I got older, I realised that there's not just one way to demonstrate leadership, and that there's space for everyone to kind of take on those roles in a way that reflects their personality and their values. And yeah, you don't have to be bossy to be the boss, I guess.